MakingStarWarsNews.net released a new article written by Jason Ward. Now, I'm going to read the article to you because it's pretty short and gets straight to the point. Here we go. Quote, "Today, I have an interesting detail or two about Star Wars The Mandalorian. The details pertain to the ship the Mando pilots in the series. While the visual details we have heard are not really reportable, as it's hard to write about something without having seen it, and I hope to see it soon. But until then, here's what I have gleaned about the Mandalorian ship. Sources keep saying the show is about 5 years after Return of the Jedi at this point, so we may be out a year or two further in the timeline than we once thought. The reason this is notable is that the ship the Mandalorian flies is rumored to be Clone Wars era craft, so in other words, the ship is pretty old at this point in the story and has seen some action. We believe the ship is called the Razor Crest. However, there is always the off chance that this is the title of the ship design itself. We have that name confirmed with two sources, and one calls it Razor Crest and the other calls it the Razor Crest. So right now it's hard to pin that down. The name is pretty badass, so I hope the name of the ship is kept. An interesting rumor about the ship is that it apparently has the ability to carbon freeze. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's freezing Jorgon fruitcakes for safe transport across the galaxy. Carbon freezing always makes me a bit queasy, as I like it to be special for Han Solo in Empire the Strikes Back, where they tested on Han to see if it will work on Luke. The Clone Wars had the Jedi use the process to sneak behind enemy lines with the justification that said mission is how Anakin aka Darth Vader even came up with the plan. Well, in this era, Han Solo is a war hero and a legend, so I suppose word got around? Or did it always have the carbon freezing chamber? I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger. I have to conclude that the ship doesn't look like anything we've seen before from Mandalore, at least in the Clone Wars, if it can house that in the back. I look forward to getting more details on the ship and some more conclusive answers regarding the ship. Is it Razor Crest or the Razor Crest?" End quote. Now, the article went on to reference that Jason Ward found out that from some sources that the show is possibly 8 episodes long and they are 40 to 45 minutes, which I think is pretty good. All right, it gives us enough time to get to know the character, the world, the ships, everything. Man, oh man. If this rumor turns out to be true, this is one heck of a callback to my favorite era of Clone Wars. Those ships are beautiful and the designs are spectacular. The ship makes me wonder if it will have any connections to the Gauntlet Fighter Transport, which was a starship designed by rogue members of Mandal Motors, a corporation for the use by the violent Mandalorian splinter group known as the Death Watch. Now, the Gauntlet Fighter was a ship particularly used by Death Watch, the Protectors, and we have seen both Death Watch and the Protectors in the Clone Wars and Mandalorian. So I think that's pretty awesome. Now, as I have suspected, that the Mandalorian could have ties to Death Watch or the Protectors or even House Vizsla itself, who Sabrine Wren is from. This show could have some major connections dating back to the Clone Wars, Rebels, and possibly the original trilogy. I think I may do a follow-up video on my speculations regarding the timeline and what possible comic books, shows, and novels may tie into The Mandalorian. What do you guys think about that? Plus, the name The Razor Crest or Razor Crest, I love it. This whole show, it just has this Western vibe that is just bathed in Star Wars, and I really hope that it continues with that. I really hope it stays true to that kind of formula and just atmosphere. Well, that wraps up this episode of Galactic News. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts and what would you like to see in the new Star Wars show, The Mandalorian. Make sure to subscribe, blast that like button, punch the bell to make the jump to light speed notification. Let's make the galaxy far, far away represent all. Much love, and may the Force bind and surround us all.